All right, this is Natalie, and you're listening to the Mental Money Podcast. Thank you for coming back. Today, we have a special guest for you. Oh, well, you know what? If you're listening for the first time, welcome. All right, I'm going to welcome the people who might be listening for the first time. You know, you're late to the party, but it's okay. We're happy you're here. you know? um, so, today, we have a very special guest because I think you're probably one of the very first people who have come on to talk to us about funding from the side of funding. So, welcome, Marsha Guerrier.
Guerrier.
Yeah, yeah.
Perrier, like Perrier water.
I know. I didn't have any right messing up your last name as French as my name is, but you know.
And here's the thing, I'm
Mhm.
sitting here going, okay, noisette.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, there I go, there I
Yeah.
go.
No, you're right. So, Marsha is the founder of HerSuiteSpot, and sweet being like business sweet, not sweet as in sweet tooth. And she reached out on TikTok, and we actually came across your grant opportunity. I think I want to say not too long ago on one of the many lists that are floating around. So, it's great that you are kind of actively and proactively putting yourself out there for women and minority women to know about the opportunities that you're making available for business opportunities. So, quick background about how you got started in this space.
There's a lot of avenues as to how I really got started, but at
Mhm,
the end of it came, I am 30 years in the fintech and financial services industry, working for Fortune 500s as
mhm,
well as startup companies, helping them to grow and scale as a business analyst and strategist and product owner and software test engineer.
mhm,
And I was sitting at work one day, and the startup that I was working for got acquired. Awesome for them, right?
yeah,
And I turned around, and there was no promotion. There was no thank you gift to the staff that helped them look beautiful to be promoted, right? And so, I mean, to be attractive for them, I was the only minority, Black woman. I was a woman, and I was a minority, so they got me on the double hook.
yeah,
And with that, I realized that, I was really tired of making rich white men richer with my skills and abilities. And I wanted to help other women that look like me take their businesses from zero to 10K, 50K, 100K, and millions, right?
mhm,
And the same way the startups that I've worked for have done. And I went into creating a conference that celebrated women, provided them with resources. I gave out grants once per year back in 2014.
mhm,
And in 2017, I decided that I wanted to make this more of a consistent, ongoing
mhm.
effort because I saw the need. I,
Right.
the need for women of color, Black women in particular, to get some type of access to funding that, one, plants seeds,
Hmm.
gives them a hope that their business ideas are viable and that
Hmm.
they should continue to persevere and really take their businesses seriously and take it to the next level.
Right.
And I have this saying that I say inside of our boardroom sessions: what would Bob do? Right.
Mhm.
So I love to remind women, what would Bob do with
Yeah.
this money that we're giving out? And so I connect with angels, I connect with nonprofits
Mhm.
and corporations to fund our grant fund.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. So I'm sure you know from the content that I put online, I'm really hard on the women that I produce content for because I don't like the idea of grants kind of floating out there about like, oh, it's free money and it's this and it's that. So I love the idea that you kind of validate the ideas and you do create a criteria around it. What is the criteria that you guys set for kind of deploying the funds?
We want to know, and this is really, like you said, Natalie, is coming from the perspective of the people reviewing applications,
Hmm.
how serious you are, how knowledgeable you are about your industry.
Hmm.
They, even though we're asking you for a brief description,
Right.
come with some professionalism, come with proper grammar. We're looking for people who display a passion and a knowledge for their business and
Hmm.
can articulate what their vision is
Right.
for the future.
Right.
My grant is a micro grant. We started giving out 100, 250, 500, and now we're at $1,000 a month, which is
Mhm.
great for our community and the growth that Her Sweet Spot has been able to also achieve.
Right.
But it comes with even more scrutiny.
Mhm.
Obviously, the more zeros you add, the more scrutiny we'll have.
Yeah.
It's important that you write your vision and your mission in a clear, concise, and realistic. I can't tell you enough, Natalie, how many applications we get with grandiose visions
Mhm.
with a micro grant.
Right.
Know your audience.
Right.
Know who you're writing you should have multiple versions of your story to tell. It,
Hmm.
it disheartens me when I see um, an application that says, we're going to use this to buy a building. Are
No.
you really?
No.
No, you're not.
Mm-mm.
And so they need your tough love. They need your get realism conversations. Entrepreneurship has been romanticized.
Very much.
It is the golden shiny object.
Yeah.
And we were Black women,
Hmm.
women of color, were the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
There is no need for us to believe that it is not possible.
Hmm.
But the whole industry with the startup culture, freelance gig
Hmm.
culture has really jargon, terminology, and the whole conversation. It's kind of double edged. We want the awareness that Black women and women of color are not being funded
Yeah.
and we're under resourced.
Hmm.
We want and need access to capital.
Yeah.
And then all of the corporate commitments of giving freemiums became, and I'm part of it, right? Because I do give out this grant, but
Hmm.
it became, oh, here's all the information. You guys got it. Go do it. And I've seen a lot of women, even from when I started this, Natalie, some of the founders that we funded years ago are no longer in existence.
So this is where I think the conversation is going to lead, Marsha, because I think this is where I'm extremely frustrated. And to be honest with you, I'm losing a lot of steam, even in this space where I'm trying to see what the point is, because what's the point, right? Like it's there, and I blame social media, and I think I'm holding us responsible because
Yeah.
we have the knowledge, we have the resources, we've been in this game for so long. It doesn't matter if we give the information away for free. It doesn't matter if we charge, right? It doesn't matter. Like all those things don't matter. What matters is like those businesses are not going to be in business in 6 months to a year. They're going to probably be in over their head in debt. They don't know how to access capital. They don't know where to start. They don't know how to network. They don't have community. They don't have this. They don't have that. So what do we do?
It's a matter of understanding how to fund your business through the various bootstrapping models, and we
Okay.
don't get that. We don't
Okay.
understand that because it has been ingrained in us that we should find money. Don't use your own money, go find money.
Right.
Fill out every grant application in the world. You should,
Yeah.
but understand that the millions of people looking at this same application are also filing. So, I hear a lot of, well, I fill out all these applications and I don't get picked. Have you played the lotto? Did
I'm
you go
so happy
playing with your state?
you
Did
say
you
that.
tell did you tell your state I give you my $10 every month and I
Yeah.
don't get picked?
Yeah.
It is a once in a, obviously I don't get millions of applications per month, but I get hundreds.
Yeah.
Right? Every month I do have to go through and the team has to look through hundreds of applications, right?
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
that doesn't mean you shouldn't stop applying. But you just got to be more intentional,
Mhm.
right? About what you're writing
Mhm.
and really, really know if that grant is going to make a difference and write exactly what that difference will mean to you. I
Mhm.
asked for a testimonial in my application.
Mm.
just because I want to see how you foresee the impact to you.
Mm.
So
Mm.
that's a little tip. I don't know if other applications ask for a testimonial as if you got it, right? Because the mindset, if you don't know, inside Her Sweet Spot, I really provide coaching community and capital using my 4 pillar of success framework, which starts with mindset. It's
Mhm.
mindset, money, marketing, and media. Mindset has to start it all. You
Okay.
can't get to the money
No.
without the mindset.
Period.
You don't know how to strategically build your marketing without the mindset,
Period.
and understanding how all forms of media play a pivotal role in your scalability and success,
Mhm.
right? And growth,
Mhm.
that growth phase. So we do make sure that your mindset is in a place of believing and achieving. One thing I know in my early days as a strategist and coach, I would teach building the CEO mindset and working with a lot of startups and sitting right next to the CEOs. I sat next to millionaires. I'm very comfortable in that space. It's
Yeah.
the the work that I've done. But what I know is that these people are crazy for their business.
Yeah. Insane. Wild.
Insane,
Yeah.
they believe, and you come in as an employee, but with
Mhm.
years of experience, and you're like, Bob, that won't work. I
Mhm.
know this will work. And Bob will say, it will work
Yeah.
and get it done.
Yeah.
And then you turn around. Somehow Bob gets an investment. He gets venture capitalists to back him. He gets acquired, which is the exit strategy for every
Yeah.
sensible startup, right?
Mhm.
And these are the things that I want to see in the application. When you're filling it out and you're telling me about you're giving me your testimonial, I am trying to look into your mind to
Yeah.
see how you believe this microgram will impact you in the future.
Okay, so I'm a crazy woo-woo lady, right? And you know what I did? I used ChatGPT to create a story for me
Oh, that's right. Yes, yes, yes.
about
ChatGPT.
I know that's right, right? Speaking of AI. And I just told it to write a story for me about how the next couple years of my life and my business would look based I gave the context, of course, right? Because
Right,
you're not gonna write my pen, right?
right.
So I gave it context. And I read it every single day,
That's
and
right.
I kid you not, it's been unfolding scarily, eerily, just to
Mm,
kind of deepen that sense of, okay, this is what you want.
yeah.
So ingrain that. So hopefully that lands on someone. But that's kind of like what you're doing. Technically, you're asking them to pre-manifest what it is that, yeah, interesting.
Manifestation, visualization,
Yeah,
vision boards, mind maps. You
right,
have to connect the dots in all the elements of who you are.
right.
One of the very first books I'm, in addition to the founder, I have produced several anthologies. I'm a best-selling author, and one
Okay.
of the first book that I did is called Life Balance for Women on the Rise. And I use
Mhm.
the term life balance, even though I don't really believe in the term life balance. I prefer harmony and all this other woo woo stuff because I'm woo woo just like you.
I got
Um, but it really focused on the main sectors of life, right?
Mhm.
And whereas life, you still have to show up in business.
Yeah,
You have to show up for business relationships. Do not contact me and think we're best friends because you're trying to get a grant. It doesn't
yeah.
work that way. First
No,
of all, it doesn't end with me. It may
right.
start with me, but I have a committee. And that's
Yeah,
one of the reasons why we do charge an administrative fee. We're not a huge organization that gets thousands and millions of funding for
right.
our grant, but
Yeah.
we're fortunate enough to be able to get funding through angels and through philanthropists that
Mhm.
believe in the work that I'm doing.
Mhm. Okay, speaking of which, there was actually a question that came up recently on TikTok, and I was gonna answer it with a video, but why not clip this video, right?
So
She asks, "Why is it that she has to put her card in to apply to a grant?" Would you like to answer that question?
For me and some of the others that I know, there are one or two other organizations that do this. There's a huge administrative cost, right?
Mm. Yeah.
I build systems around the application process. Then we have the committee. We
Mhm.
have all of the technology behind providing you with the grants, the marketing that goes behind it. But
Mhm.
really, the administrative cost to administer these grants can be astronomical.
Yeah.
And so the application fee in my case, which is $10, which is really nominal if
It's
you
nominal. Yeah.
receive $1,000 grant, and then in other cases, whatever the amounts are, it is worth it for the women that have received our grant. They're so thankful, and the $10 fee is really just the cost of doing business sometimes.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
it's not even, it's important to understand how much you have to invest in yourself, right? There's personal development and professional development. And when you're an entrepreneur, you have to seek the funding. You have to really get to the point where you build up your startup capital. You know, those terms and these practices for us solopreneurs and for us sole workers, it's the same as a startup.
Yeah.
Every little Shea Moisture started off with a person that looks like you and me in the
Mhm.
kitchen whipping it up,
Yeah.
right? Look at
Right.
where they are,
Yeah.
right? But you don't need to spend immediately the big dollars for the big systems that I say to a lot of my clients, they come to me, and my executive clients especially when they work in a corporate setting that has all the automation and bells and whistles, and when they start their company, they start with all that same stuff without
Mhm.
one client. And
Yeah.
I'm like, why? In some cases, there's so many resources, so many tools you could use that where you don't have to invest in that, right? Bootstrapping is where you start off lean, you
Mhm.
start off you being the sole person operating all the manual parts of your machine
Mhm.
until you can make enough revenue where you start to one outsource, hire, and implement the systems. When
Right.
I was doing these grants years ago, I was doing everything without systems.
Yeah.
Use the free Google Forms, and then I'd have to email everybody, I need your logo, I need this, I need that, and do the due diligence after, which took a
Mhm.
lot longer. But
Yeah.
now we're able to really pay for a robust application system on
Mhm.
our site, where it's housed on our site. These things really do cost for us. And so that's one of the reasons why you'll see application fees. Now, if they're really large, this ain't a college application.
Right.
Don't get it crazy. If the fees are really big and they're promising you something,
Yeah.
there is no promise in
Mhm.
an application filing fee. But if
Right.
it is the cost and they say, I'm going to fill out this grant, or someone's trying to write it for you for a cost, I would red flag, right? Walk
Mhm.
away from those things. There should never be a promise. It's like truly investing in the lottery. You're
Yep.
trying to get that quick pick ticket,
Mhm.
and you're gonna, see how it lands. But be intentional
Right.
about what you're writing.
Right. No, for sure.
And then use that chat GPT. You said it, you brought it up. I'm all about
Yeah.
AI. If you're
Yeah.
not using AI yet, if you feel uncomfortable using it, if you tried it and it hasn't given you the type of results you
Mhm.
need to work harder at it.
Mhm.
Learn about what is called prompt engineering.
Mhm.
I am excited for the HerSuiteSpot platform. Our members will soon sneak peek. Our members will soon be given access to a brand new AI tool that will help women develop their business plans, financial plans, marketing plans, and social media plans. So, incorporating again the four pillars of success into this AI tool. I'm excited to launch it. Stay tuned for more information about that in the next couple of months.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I'm a big proponent for AI tool. Just please don't copy and paste from it. Know what you
No, you cannot copy and
know
paste and
what
walk
you're
away.
doing, guys.
No, guys, it's not. It's a tool
It's a
to
tool.
use,
Don't
but
copy it.
feed it with who you are, your tones,
Yes.
give it your context, give it your finesse, and allow it to. What I like to do and how I teach
Yeah.
my
Okay.
clients
Yes.
to use it is write what you are writing.
Okay. Yes. 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 Yes.
Give that to ChatGPT and ask it to refine what
Okay.
it
Yeah.
is,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes.
Do not just come out of the gate and say, run this for me, please, and give me this.
Right. Yeah.
That's not a
Right.
really great use of your what you're doing.
Yes. And that's what I see a lot of, and I'm just like, girl, I know you did not write this. I know you. I know you did not write this. Okay. It's so, okay. So for anyone who's looking to go into funding, I see a lot of people like ask questions like, and this is just what I'm kind of experiencing online. So I'm just sharing with you, and I just want to see what your ideas are on it. So a lot of people are coming and asking about opportunities. So they're saying, and you have a grant, so I'm getting your interest on this. They're saying, are there opportunities for XYZ? Are there opportunities for startups, for new businesses, for
Mhm.
this industry, for that industry? What are your ideas on kind of like maybe search criteria or how to kind of prepare your mind or your heart for kind of entering that space?
um, Entering the space of new opportunities and getting recognized for the work that you're doing, right?
Well, for grant funding, well, looking for those kind of grant opportunities.
Oh, using ChatGPT is another great resource, right?
Okay.
There are so many places to that will help you search the
Hmm.
internet for the opportunities.
Hmm.
But in all honesty, I would start local.
Okay.
Start locally. You have local politicians in
Hmm.
your town and in your state that
Hmm.
have grant money to give,
Hmm.
whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
They do fun things. There's organizations and companies, corporations in your backyard that
Hmm.
are looking to partner with local small businesses to share their message, especially if you come with a community. Community building is one of the most important things right now
Hmm.
in entrepreneurship. You see a lot of people talking about building community so that you can really spread your impact,
Yeah.
right? And grow your business only that much faster. And so, if you're building community, I really would lean into more local things first. I remember when I started, that was the advice I was given with I had a nonprofit before my for-profit business, and I
Hmm.
was told to start locally, and that's what I did. I got featured in media locally, and of course I live in New York, so I'm in the number one market in for most things, right? But it's also the number one oversaturated market at the same
Right.
time,
Yeah.
right? And so while in New York you're in the number one market, you are one in a million,
Hmm.
right? And so you do have to stand out. You do have to be intentional. You have to walk the streets, so to say, right? You have
Right.
to be out there. It's networking. That those are the people say it's not really about the application process. It's sometimes who you know. It's
Hmm.
sometimes you showing up in places where you feel uncomfortable, you think it's not the right place, but
Yeah.
that's exactly where opportunity is going to find you and where
Yeah.
you're going to find opportunity. But you have to also be ready,
Hmm.
right? Prepare yourself to answer questions in person, be confident. Don't hide behind the the the, the videos in the computer.
Yeah. For sure. No, for sure. Okay. So so for your particular grant, what's the ideal candidate? Like what's someone that you are like what's someone that you want to fund? What's a project that you want to fund that aligns with your goals as an organization?
For us, we are industry agnostic. We don't focus on one particular industry. We try to diversify the opportunities we hand out for the founders we're working with.
Mhm.
But we're honestly reading all of your applications and we're looking for passion. We're
Mhm.
looking for realism. Are you working? Is this industry and is the business that you say you're operating going to really grow in the industry, right?
Mhm.
Is that industry an industry that is going to be flat?
Mhm.
Are you telling us something about what you're doing and what your ideal customer is looking for?
Yeah.
That the problem you're solving is unique. So we're looking for uniqueness. We're looking for impact. How many people will your company truly impact? And you don't have to tell us that, but the committee, myself and the committee, we could look at your business. We're looking at your social presence, whether it's your website, your social media. We're clicking on these links.
Mhm.
And if you give us your website, we're gonna still find your social.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a presence, red flag. So you're not going to make it past your first round,
Mhm.
right? So we want to see your presence. We're not looking for big numbers. We're not looking for, oh my God, you got to have 10,000 followers. No, if you have 200 followers, because at the end of the day, we want you to come into the Her Sweet Spot community to learn, to be inspired, to be educated, to be motivated in order for you to build. We want the grant to be that seed that we're planting in you to help you blossom into something bigger. And many of my past recipients have gone on with confidence to apply for pitch competitions, to apply for bigger grants, and
Mhm.
have received them. I have dozens of my former recipients have gone on to and have always told me your grant made me feel comfortable and confident to apply for this and go for that. And then they did it locally. I
Mhm.
hear so many women. I found a pitch competition at the local business center, and your grant helped me. And the crazy thing is how widespread the Horizon Micro Grant is, because people will be in different cohorts for other women organizations like
Mhm.
such as ours, and they'll meet and say, "My first grant was with Horizon,"
Yeah.
and then it's like, "So was mine," and oh my God, and so really looking for uniqueness
Mhm.
and passion in what you're doing and vision, right?
Right. Okay. Is there, and so it sounds like there is aftercare.
There, we have a very open platform where we have our free mixers. So we are insistent that you come to our monthly mixers that is open to the public, and we invite you to register and invest in yourself if you'd like to invest back into the Her Sweet Spot membership. But there is aftercare. We do check in. We'll be sending surveys later on in the year to check back to see how the impact of the grant has and how things are going for their businesses. But we invite them, and we invite you all to join our free networking event once a month. The first Fridays, we have our mixers
Mhm.
to really, extend any support in, again, the four pillars of success topics that range from SEO, chat GPT, AI, marketing. We fall under all of our four pillars of success.
Okay. So do you find that the companies that are more successful have more touch points with you after the grant?
No, no,
Okay.
no, no. But I do find that the companies that are most successful find community somewhere.
Amen.
So I'm not saying that is me,
Yeah.
but I do know for certain the more successful ventures that we've supported, they do stick around and they come back to share wins with me, but they find community because we cannot do this alone.
Mm.
You, that's why the ones that have failed in the past failed, because they ran off, boom, and they ran off and they went to work and they stay working, they stay grinding without finding that outlet. Not only is community an outlet, but it is an educational resource.
Yeah.
I will say that our community is really about sharing resources, we have our monthly sessions called the boardroom, where we come in and do business development, strategic planning, and you get your answer, your problems answered.
Hmm.
Give advice, and we also have our business planning session where we're asking you to say out loud what you intend to do for the month, what your plans are, what you and you better come back next month and say, and it's okay if it didn't achieve it, but we remind you of the steps and the processing to truly achieving your dreams.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, because we have a community as well, and some of the women in the community have taken it upon themselves to like, yeah, we're gonna do monthly accountability sessions, and I'm just like,
It's so
go be
important.
great, go be great, y'all.
It's so
Yeah,
important. I just
yeah,
need to plug this laptop in.
yeah, sure, please.
It's so important. I'm gonna keep talking because I'm a chatter.
No, go
But
ahead.
it's so important to find community in what you're doing, and it doesn't matter what it is, right? If you're a new mom,
Hmm.
look for new mom communities, right?
Yeah.
If you are, um, you know, looking to crochet, look for communities that will support you in playing. There are communities for everything. And if
Agree.
you are going to be a solopreneur navigating this world on your own, it's important that you find other women, because your family and friends, they're not going to be the ones. They're going to distract you. They're going to discourage you a lot of times. And it's really important to find community with like-minded people. And that's what Her Sweet Spot is all about. We give community.
No, for sure. Okay. So, any parting words before we go?
Well, I really want women to know and understand that, you're the Mental Money Podcast. It's important to get your mentals together in order for you to successfully achieve the money and the level of revenue that you want,
Hmm.
right? When you're going into the office and you're going in, it's that year end and you're trying to get the raise. Half of us know we're doing the mantras, we're doing the
Yeah.
ask for this before. If you're looking for a job, stick to your guns. This is what you want. And
Right.
it's the same in business, right? Make sure that you do really take time to understand your industry and believe in it,
Right.
even if it's something that a lot of people start businesses in industries where they're not proficient, but they feel like it's a lucrative industry.
Yeah.
That is fantastic, but study that industry
Yeah.
and become the best.
Yeah. 100%. Thank you, Marsha. I think this is very much needed conversation. You shed light on a lot of questions that um people have had, not only um here in the grant space across like the industry wide, but also on the consumer side too, because I've asked you questions that have come across my timeline as well. So thank you for answering those questions. I will definitely be sharing any links that you share with me in the show notes. And if you ever have any other additional insights that you want to share, I'll be sure to pass those along too. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing in the community as well.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for what you're doing. When I follow you on TikTok, and when I saw your page and what you're doing for the community, that is just as needed, right? It's we're a tag team together. You give them the information, you help them get to all of the resources they need,
Mhm.
and when we all work in our zones of genius and
Mhm.
then come together,
Yeah.
they say, magic happens. So
Yeah.
thanks for what you're doing too.
Magic is happening. I know that for a fact. Thank you, Marsha. I appreciate you.
Anytime. Thank you for having me.